9 years and 1 month ago, Naughty Dog released what would become one of the most iconic third-person action-adventure games, not just on its launch console, the PS3, but period. The game was remastered for the PS4 a year later, and in 2019, at the end of the PS4's lifecycle, Sony and ND Studios dropped Last of Us 2 to epic praise from journalists, but mixed reviews and downright storyline disgust from the gaming community. In a little over a month, the original Last of Us will be launched on the PlayStation 5 for $70, and a lot has changed, but luckily a lot has stayed the same. This is a remake, not a remaster, so this could have been a recipe for disaster. Give me your ear, not so I can lick it, but so I can tell you everything there is to know about this upcoming scoop of gamer goodness served on the piping hot PS5. The information in this video is from several recently released articles from major gaming journalistic platforms. These will be cited or sourced down there in the description below, as I do anytime I cover any news in the gaming community or industry. Most importantly, when can you play this game, on what console, and how much? Price, platform, and where to buy. It's a hungry and ambitious $70 US. As of now, it is confirmed it will be for sale on the PSN or PlayStation Network. I'm sure there will be physical hard copies in stores such as Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop, Target, etc. So other than the standard edition, which is $70, and I do believe most gamers are going to opt for, there's also the digital deluxe version, which comes with this DLC or downloadable content, not expansion packs or anything like that, just some skins and a couple of free upgrades or unlocks in the skill tree. But if you're a diehard in the pants fan of Last of Us Part 1, you might want to opt for the Firefly edition, which is $100, which comes with a limited edition steel book carrying case and a couple of comic books and cover art. Me personally, my cheap ass will be getting the standard edition. And luckily, it was revealed during a recent Games Radar interview that the PC port will be coming pretty damn soon. Like, don't hold your breath, you will die of suffocation. Not that soon, but it will be coming much sooner than the 1.5 to 3 years that Sony generally waits to port over their IPs. Let's head to the drag strip because we're talking about performance. This is going to be hitting 4K native resolution at 30 frames per second, and that is at a locked and steady frame rate, or you can change the frame rate to dynamic 4K mode, which will get you up to 60 frames per second. However, it will dip down as it is dynamic and will fluctuate, which is a substantial upgrade from the 1080p struggling to hit 30 frames per second on the base PS4 when this game originally launched. And we've recently seen how substantial the gap in performance is between the PS4, even Pro, and the PlayStation 5, with the recent release of Stray, which I did review on this channel, that sports 8 times the pixels per second on PlayStation 5 as on its PS4 counterpart, running 4K 60 as opposed to 1080 30. Also, graphically, some of the character models have been updated to provide improved animations and details, such as facial expressions, body motions, and physics. And there is also going to be a field of view or FOV slider. Devs told Press Square during an interview with a side-by-side comparison video that there is, quote, no comparison between the gameplay of The Last of Us Part 1 remake on PS5 compared to not just the PlayStation 3 original, but also the PS4 remake. Well, yeah, that was 8 years ago. I would hope video game technology had advanced substantially in nearly a decade. New features and gameplay changes. This is where things can slip on a banana peel and quickly fall on its coccyx. As this is a remake, not a remaster, we'll go ahead and use Final Fantasy VII Remake as an example because it is an entire reworking from the ground up. The entire architecture, the framework of the game, the core gameplay can be different, which generally us, the gaming community, don't want to see. We would like to see the story and the core gameplay left alone, but see a much higher frame rate, modernized graphics with things like ray tracing and 4K resolution. Also just accessibility and quality of life features, such as better menu browsing and different difficulty modes for different levels of gamers. There has been some major notable tweaks and changes to the Last of Us core game engine. Let me explain. The game's AI, not only on friendly NPCs, but also enemy combatants, is the engine from Last of Us Part 2, so expect combat to be a lot more challenging as enemy combatants will do things like flank you, work together, communicate, rather than just standing there waiting to get two-tapped in the back of the noggin. Now, developers did meet criticism for not including the prone mechanic of Lu 2. I've actually never called it that before. Lao 2, Lu 2, and they responded that would have essentially broken the flow of combat since environments weren't built around it. Now, this doesn't necessarily make sense to me because they are using the same exact game engine from Lao 2, so NPC combatants have the AI intelligence. Hey buddy, just said it in your videos over here. Are you aware that you said AI intelligence? That's basically, you just said artificial intelligence down below their waist, below their knees, even crouch down and look for Joel and Ellie because it's on that game engine. So it almost seems like Naughty Dog didn't want to take the time and energy to modify the existing maps and environments, angles to make good use of the prone feature to where you can climb underneath things like cars, nip at enemies' ankles. There's now a speedrun mode, and it seems as if that gets unlocked once you've beaten the game normally, and that will allow you to jump to specific scenes or missions and track your playthrough time. There's also a permadeath mode for those hardcore gamers that hate life. Now, it's not specified if the difficulty is locked or set to one default value in the permadeath mode, because permadeath on very easy versus permadeath on hardcore mode would be completely different experiences. New outfits and skins that you can unlock for both Joel and Ellie. Cosmetics are always welcome, and this is a very welcome feature, the 3D spatial audio, which I'm sure will work with things like sound bars and surround sound. However, it is definitely going to make full use out of the Pulse 3D headset that is meant specifically to work with the Tempest audio engines of the PS5. All the information in this video is confirmed either by Naughty Dog or reputable sources, but let's talk about some leaks. Were there any major leaks surrounding the release of this game? Yes, there was. Some raw, unreleased, unpolished footage of the remastered title was leaked onto YouTube multiple times, and the senior environment texture artist made a tweet that said it was difficult to see the gameplay leaks because they came out before the game was ready to show, especially since the footage leaked in low resolution with a messed up color grading and no HDR. And since the gameplay was posted online from non-reputable external sources, the Uncharted developer Naughty Dog made an official post with an extended deep dive into gameplay that seemed to sway many opinions more positively. Now, there is also several very welcome accessibility and quality of life features. These are essential options that the original and even the 2014 PS4 remake did not have. The remake will let you adjust combat difficulty. Was there really no difficulty setting in Last of Us, the original? Not a problem now. You can adjust the combat difficulty, but it is very in-depth. You can amplify audio cues for combat. You can adjust enemy AI behavior, such as turning off their ability to flank you. You can cut down on their overall gun accuracy and so on. So this is very similar to what we saw with Horizon Forbidden West, where you can fine-tune and tweak the difficulty of all aspects of combat, from enemy health to how much damage you do, to if you automatically heal yourself when you're on low health. There's also a new skip puzzle option, which is under attack by the gaming community, and the journalist over at Kotaku said, "I'm curious about this skip puzzle option. Like many modern games, The Last of Us is sort of a hybrid of different genres. It's a third-person action adventure, but also a survival game. A traditional linear beat-by-beat story game with a number of sequences that'll have you moving around dumpsters and ladders to solve puzzles. Will characters automatically move pieces around the environment? Will there be a fade to black, skip the entire room kind of scene?" I agree with that sentiment. I have played several games that offer a skip puzzle option, and I virtually never use it. I would rather look up a walkthrough online on Google or YouTube, or just sit there and grind for hours and lose my sanity and go gray, than skip a puzzle, considering that is part of the game, and a lot of times there is story dialogue being told or said during the puzzle scene. Not to mention, the puzzle is part of the game's core mechanics, meaning you're not really beating the game if you don't finish one of the puzzles. And like the journalist at Kotaku mentioned, a lot of the puzzles are 5-10 minutes of you moving things around. So is the screen just now going to fade to black and all of a sudden all this stuff is moved around? It's weird. But a more positive feature they're adding, and I don't really think this is up for debate. Nobody's dissatisfied with this feature. This is the first PlayStation game that has full audio descriptions built into the cinematics, meaning that gamers with a vision disability, i.e. are blind, are going to get a very in-depth audio description of exactly what is going on screen, such as Ellie tosses her hair and Joel fires up a cigar. Well, he's not a smoker, but you know, you get the point. What about multiplayer? Am I going to be squadding up with the boys in the lobby? No. This game is launching without the original multiplayer. I actually didn't remember Last of Us launching with a multiplayer back in 2013 on the PS3, but apparently it did have a multiplayer mode. I guess it was just so renowned for its story, its single-player campaign, that's what everyone talks about, because the multiplayer is never a topic in the video game community when The Last of Us is brought up. But this is going to be the single-player experience only, no multiplayer, although there is a separate multiplayer game set in The Last of Us world or environment coming out from Naughty Dog in the future. Now, as for controller features, as this is specifically a remake for the PlayStation 5, you can rest damn sure assured that Sony is making sure the DualSense controller is working overtime. All the guns are going to have a different trigger feel. The bow is going to get stiffer in your hand as you pull it back. You're going to feel the crunch of different terrain through the haptic feedback vibration. There's going to be sounds bleeding out of your controller speaker. However, luckily, it doesn't seem like there's any gimmicky moments where you need to use the controller's microphone to talk or blow into it, and you don't need to use the 6-axis motion sensing, which is good. Here's a couple of words from the developers about what that controller is going to do in your hand.
At the very beginning, when they're starting to draw the bow, there's a little bit of resistance. And then as the bow gets tauter and tauter, the amount of resistance is increasing. And then when you release the bow, you're also getting that resistance going out of the trigger. When you are aiming and firing the shotgun, you're going to get a haptic vibration on the shot. And then what I think is one of the ways that the DualSense really advances things is you're going to get a haptic vibration on the pump of the shotgun. And what's much more sophisticated about that on the DualSense is that in effect has a little like speaker in it. And it's playing an audio file that comes through in the vibrations. And those two beats is what you're going to feel on the controller.
This looks like a good spot.
This also ties in to the new workbench animations. So if you're seeing Joel taking apart a gun or screwing something in or putting a new stock on a gun, that moment where he's like jamming that on, you're going to get that haptic feedback on that.
So saving the best for last, what really matters, my opinion. How do I feel about all this? I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, I played The Last of Us Original extensively on PlayStation 3. Then I played The Last of Us Remastered on a PS4 Pro. That was the last time I played the original Last of Us. I have played The Last of Us 2, start to finish, 2 times on a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 5. And much like the recent PS5 remaster of Grand Theft Auto 5, this can definitely be called a cash grab because they are asking $70 or $100 for the premium package for a title that came out in 2013. And a lot of people have already purchased the original PS3 game for $60. Then a year later, the PS4 remaster for an additional $60. And now $70 for this game. So in essence, you have spent $190 on one single player game that will take you 14 and a half to 22 hours to complete. The average being around 16 if you're a mix of primary story and also exploring to find collectibles and stuff. So if you look at it through that lens, oh yeah, this is greedy as hell. But if you look at it through the angle of, oh, I love this game originally and I haven't played it in 7 or 8 years and I do have a shiny new PS5 and I'd love to see how that pushes this title, then this might be exactly what you're looking for. I'm in that latter camp. You know, tell Sony, hey, take my money, take my money. Do I feel great about giving $70 to Sony Interactive Entertainment to replay this title? No, but I will do it because I think the game is going to be worth it. Drop in the comment section below your opinion of The Last of Us 1, 2, the remaster, and the remake that's about to come out, and I'll see you stallions in the next one. Peace. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at Gamer Heaven. Check out Into the AM for some of the sickest looking and most comfortable cloth to ever grace my gaming giblets. If you don't want to be scorching your corneas with harmful blue light, check out Gamer Advantage, the only blue light glasses on the market that look sexy and actually work. If you're looking for a custom controller that'll blow the competition's tits back, AIM definitively has the best bang for buck or price to performance when it comes to Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch controllers. Nope, they don't do Switch, but they do gaming mice. I said doo-doo. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. If you need a quick laugh or blast of gamer adrenaline, check my short form videos out at TikTok. To get in touch with myself and the stallions and stallionettes of Gamer Heaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding, starting June I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting Gamer Heaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.